Good morning. I'm Sierra Felix with Dream Team Performance Horses. Ooh, hey bud, stay there, easy. This here is Rhodey. He is a 3-year-old gelding, born and raised on our place out of one of our mares. So he's going to be my demonstration horse. He's very confused because I haven't asked him to do something yet. So I was asked to make a video about my way of doing groundwork. Now, there's a million different ways and a million different techniques. I am not saying that mine is right or the others are wrong. Every technique fits every person, and sometimes we have to adjust the technique we use per the horse. I've developed this one over the years, and I find that it's really handy because in my program, everything is a building block. So if we start by doing the groundwork here, we're building the foundational blocks for when they ride. So everything we do and has a purpose on the ground, and it can be translated to the saddle in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to do a series of these. This is the very first one. So this is basically intro to groundwork. This horse that I have here, Rhodey, he does know how to do groundwork. When I get a chance and I can get my hands on a horse that doesn't know groundwork at all, I will definitely do a video. But this is the basics of doing groundwork, so you can teach your young horse, or you can better understand how to go about doing groundwork with a horse that may have already been taught how to do it and how to do it in this way. So with this, I do like to use a rope halter. You can certainly use a flat halter. We're not going to be ripping and jerking on their face. That's not the MO here. Hi, buddy. I also have a 10-foot lead. It's pretty wide. I'm fairly certain it's a 5/8 or 3/4 width. I just like the feel of it, and it does have a bigger snap to it. I just like the feel of it, and I like the length. So it allows the horse to be out and away from me, but I can also pull him in close. Hi, buddy. And then I also have a small little like buggy type whip. Some people call it a flag. Mine does not have a flag anymore. I've made just this little popper on the end. But this, for folks, this is not a whooping stick. This is not to scare the horse. In fact, he's not afraid of this. Well, okay, I made a liar out of me. He got worked earlier, and hey. So you should be able to touch your horse with it. Good boy. There you go. You should be able to touch your horse with it, and your horse shouldn't be afraid. Whoa. Your horse shouldn't be afraid of it. Of course, they always make liars out of us, right? They shouldn't be afraid of it. However, just like us, so they shouldn't be afraid of us. However, they need to respect us and respect our space. So that's no different with this little whip. This is literally just an extension of my arm, because if I'm always moving my feet around and he's making me move my feet around, then he's not respecting my space. So I can use this as an extension so that I can keep my feet and my body where it's at. So another piece that needs to be said and out there, and I will talk about it through my videos, is the process of diminishing cues. So what does that mean? That means that whenever we're working with our horse, we want to start with the lightest cue possible. However, we can progress into something a little more strong. I don't like using the word severe because that's not it, but we got to think about in the wild. So think about horses when they're telling each other something, they're going to start with their ears pinned back. And then they might swing their head at the other horse. And then they might nip at the other horse. But last resort is going to be full on lunging at, body slamming, kicking, and it's a big to-do. So we got to think about the process of those same diminishing cues when we're cueing our horse. The goal is to, so to speak, pin our ears at our horse, and boom, our horse listens and reacts. However, especially as we're training them, sometimes we need to use something a little stronger for them to understand what we're getting at. So we're going to see that today. And this little buggy whip generally is the last resort. So for me, I'm going to start with my body language first, my voice second, and then some sort of motion or reinforcement, whether it be this or whether it be physically moving my body and saying, you need to move your feet. So look for those 3 things throughout all my videos. So what we're going to start with is whenever we're doing the groundwork, he needs to move around me. So oftentimes I see a horse and I'm going to kind of make him do this. A horse crowding, maybe he won't. I don't know. We'll see. He knows the rules that he's supposed to stay out there. So horses can hurt us. Even the gentlest, brokest horses, they can unintentionally hurt us. But what we want is come here, buddy. We want them to be able to move out of the way. So a lot of times I see this. So this is a horse crowding, okay? And he's come into my space. Now I pulled him there because I want to demonstrate this. This horse doesn't like to be here because he's like, I know I'm not supposed to be there because he doesn't want to run me over. So what I see is horses crowding, and then a person moves back. And then that horse crowds again. And then that person moves back. However, I need to be able to send him away and say, no, sir, you need to stand over there. Now, if I step to him and I say, good boy, I need to be able to step away and he stays there unless I've asked him to move forward. Okay, that is respect. So just like your children, right? So your children need to be patient and they can ask for something, but if they're always climbing on you, whining, saying, mommy, 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 that's not respect, right? So our horses, being 1,000-pound animals that can hurt us, need to have that respect. So that is the basis of our groundwork, is that we can put them where we want them. We can love on them when we want to. But if we want to stand over here and be safe, they can stand over there. They don't have to be on our lap because they're not lap dogs. They can't be. This is a 1,000-pound animal that can hurt you. So see there, I just asked him to move back. So he thought I meant move forward. I didn't. And I just asked him to move back. So now just keep in mind, this is a really feely horse. Hi, buddy. This is a very feely horse, so he might kind of jump and react. That's just kind of his nature. It's the way he's always been. So keeping that in mind, I am not going to move my feet. And what I want, at least initially, let me put that caveat in there. I want to be able to send him where I want him from where I stand. So to put that in a real life perspective, if you're out on the trail and the trail is narrow and you're trying to get him to go through something, you need to be able to stand in one place and send him there. That way you don't fall off the ledge. Let's say you have a narrow gate and you both can't fit through. Okay, he either needs to be patient and let you go first, or you step aside, send him through the gate and you follow. One of those two options. So there's a ton of real world applications. This is good in trailering as well. But this also teaches our horse to steer and to pay attention to us. So I'm going to start with my feet not moving, okay? And my goal right now is to get him to move in a circle to my left. So I'm going to use my shoulders. So my shoulders are what drives my horse. This is where my energy projects to. Wherever my shoulders are facing, that's my energy projecting forward. And you can see him kind of getting big, and oh, what happens? He backs up. Okay, that's because that's where my energy is projecting forward. Okay, so that is going to help encourage, he already knows what we're going to do. That is going to help encourage him to move. So standing here straight, I'm going to take my left arm out and point in the direction I want him to go. That takes his nose. Okay, so that's my first one. My body and my energy says, you're going to have to move your feet at some point. Oh, see, he already knows. So if he didn't know, good boy, whoa. So I'm going to lead with my leading hand in the direction I want him to go. My shoulders are facing him. I would then go, walk, Brody. And then if he didn't move, I would encourage him right here with this extension. So see, that really gets him moving. So the whole time as he's going, I'm just going to lead with this left hand, keep it out. As he learns more, I can kind of relax it, but I always want it ahead of me. So the other piece, another piece of this is our horse's engine. Is this back end, okay? If I want him to move or speed up, I'm going to direct my shoulders, which are my energy, at that engine. Okay, so as you can see, if I just walk a little faster and walk towards his engine, what happens? He moves out a little bit. If I back it off, he's like, okay, I'm really relaxed right here in this circle that you put me in. So if he's walking along nice and easy, what I'm actually going to do, instead of directing my energy to keep saying, walk on, walk on, walk on, if I'm constantly like that, he's going to become dull to it. So then I'm actually going to turn, if he's doing the right thing, so he is, I'm actually going to turn and become shoulder to shoulder with him and say, okay, buddy, that's where I want you. You're at a good distance. You're at a good speed. We're going to team up and we're just going to relax and we're going to go along together just like this. And he just took a big sigh. I don't know if you can hear or not. Just took a big sigh because he's relaxing into that. So the next step, Okay, we've got our horse walking in the direction we want him to go, but now we want him to stop. So what we're going to do is we want them to disengage their hip, disengage their hindquarters. I'm sure many of you heard that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect my energy at his hip, slightly pull his nose and say, woo. Now he didn't do a big disengage, but it was enough to stop his feet. I see so many people that run their horse in a million circles, lunging them, and then they have to reef on them to stop them. Well, that translates to you're having to reef on their face in the saddle. I want this horse to stop when I'm in the saddle based on my body. Now this horse, like I said, is very feely. So all I have to do is release my legs and sit and say, whoa. And he stops very nicely, much like he did right here. Back up, buddy. Back up. So we're gonna do the same thing, that same direction again, just so you all can see again. So I want him to start walking on a circle. I'm gonna take it out. My energy's facing him. Good boy. I want him to speed up that walk, so I'm gonna cluck. Keep my shoulders, hey. There we go. And then once he does that, I'm gonna team up and go shoulder to shoulder with him. So your arm doesn't have to be out here the whole time. Once they get the hang of it, you can relax. However, early on, many times you're just going to have to kind of ride it out here for a little while. And your arm will get tired, and it is very awkward and unnatural, but you'll get used to it. So we're going to stop him again. So I'm going to redirect my energy to his hip, take a little step towards, pull his nose, say woo. That was a little better. See, he had crossed over in the hindquarters that way. So now we're going to go to my right. So we're going to go clockwise, take my hand out, direct my energy, cluck, walk on. And the first time you start doing groundwork, it does not need to be a trot, lope, knows all the cues. This is a huge start right here, just getting that horse to move around you. And if this horse wanted to be, I'm going to ask him, if he wanted to be at the end of my rope because he's not super comfortable with me and super comfortable being close, let him be at the end of the rope as long as he's respecting what I have asked, which is you need to move in the clockwise direction at a walk. So the direction and the speed, those are the two things that I am looking for. As long as he's doing that, I'm going to leave him alone. Notice I am shoulder to shoulder with him again. He's doing the right thing. So we're going to ask him to stop, redirect my energy, pull his nose, woo. So that was a very big movement. So that was really good. Okay, so now I'm going to ask him to walk on the circle again. Walk. Notice every time I ask him to move off, I don't move my feet. He needs to move around me. So now we're going to just move it up a little bit more. This horse knows how to go the direction I want at a walk, and he knows how to stop. So now we're going to up the ante a little bit, and what I want him to do is I want him to reverse. Again, as you're teaching your horse, this can be nice and slow. Come on. This can be nice and slow, and then as they progress and as you progress, because those are hand in hand, you can speed it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, the rope is in my right hand, the lead hand, and my tail's in my left hand. I'm actually going to change hands. I'm going to step at his hip and pull his nose, and then I'm going to encourage a little bit with this tail and ask him for a reverse. Okay, so now we're going counterclockwise. So I'm leading with my left hand. He's doing the right thing. I'm going to be shoulder to shoulder with him. So if he were to stop right now, I would redirect my energy at his hip, cluck, until he got back on track. And then I'm going to slowly partner back up and get shoulder to shoulder with him. So I'm going to do another reverse. So the very first step, staying shoulder to shoulder. My lead hand currently is my left hand, and my tail is my right hand. I'm actually going to switch those. And then I'm going to redirect my energy, step at his hip, pull his nose, encourage him a little bit, and go around. So do you see how he steps back slightly and steps away from me? That is operative. I see all the time horses that don't have the respect, and they end up running the people over, and the people want to back off. Stand your ground. If you have to use the lead rope to shake him and say, hey, get out of there, you need to get away from me. Or if you need to use your little buggy whip to say, no, this is my space, because it is. Unless I invite you in my space, you stay out there. So we're going to do this reverse one more time. So right now I'm shoulder to shoulder, First step is to reverse my hands. Okay, second step is step at his hip, pull his nose, encourage with this tail hand, just like that. He's doing really good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and ask him just to stop. Ooh, good boy. Now, a lot of people are diehard, stay out there, and then the others are diehard, hey, you need to come to me immediately. I want the horse to stop where I've asked him to stop, and then if I take a couple steps back, I'm going to take my shoulders so my energy's away. I'm going to invite him in and say, good boy. And you see he licks and chews, he understands, he accepts, but do you see how he never runs over the top of me? If I, hey, thank you. That was a really good example, so he didn't pay attention. I turned and I directed my energy and I wanted him to back, but he didn't listen. So I had to get myself a little bigger. I used my voice. Come on. So now he's unsure. And that's okay. That's okay. But he came off that halter and came off that pressure. Tell him, good boy. See how my energy is directed away? That allows him to say, okay, you're okay to come in. So there we go. There, he backed off a little better. Like I said, this horse has been doing groundwork for basically his whole life. So he is very good at it. So that is the basics, the basic starting point of groundwork. And you don't have to just use it in a circle. Start and learn in this scenario, but you can use it in your everyday. So if you feel like it once in a while, step aside, make your horse wait, and then ask him to send into a stall or ask him to go over something over there away from you without you saying, okay, buddy, I'm going to lead you over it. He needs to have the confidence to say, go. You need to go that, and you need to go over there and step over where I've asked you to step over, and then you can stop. So I hope that helps. I'll be doing a few more in this series and progressing through the different steps, but this is a really good starting place for groundwork. If you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can shoot me a message, drop a comment here on YouTube, any of those things. I'm happy to help. I want people to be successful with their horses. And I know, like I said, there's a million different ways out there to do it. This is just my way. This is the basis of my program, especially in the colt starting, but it develops a really good relationship between person and horse, and also sets this horse up for long-term success in the saddle, because as you'll see as we progress through these videos, this will translate into the saddle once they understand the difference in body, voice, and then if we have to accelerate it and be a little bit stronger with our cues. Have a great